fucking waiting. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Chingazos. This is episode number 5, and we caught us in the middle of our lunch, and we're about to fucking have some tacos from Frankie's. And we're about to pig out, man, but we got a lot of shit to talk about, don't we, Big Sexy?
Yes, sir.
Big Sexy Steve. I give you a new nickname every...
Just call me the Wise Man.
The Wise Man. The Wise Man Steve.
From wrestling, Paul Heyman.
Oh, shit. But we were talking about how many girls Steve used to get before he got married.
No, I'm better than
They call him the vagina machine.
that. No, you.
What does that mean?
Tell them about your...
I think I was a late bloomer. Though.
Yeah, late bloomer. Tell them about your college setup.
My college setup.
You should find out wasting over there.
It's on my tuition.
Taking out tuition just to... Teach Andrew Tate for one.
Speaking of Andrew Tate, we're going to talk about Andrew Tate today. We're going to talk about Hunter Biden taking a plea deal with the government. Is that fair or not? We're going to talk about Trump and his interview with Baer.
That was a classic, man.
We also got a special appearance by Mr. Seducius himself, and he's got some relationship advice. Seducius?
I thought you were trying to say the Sadducees from the Bible.
Oh, no. And we got some reactions for some videos and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. But first, I gotta get something off my chest, Big Steve. You and I both, we have a lot of family that's in the MAGA cult. And a lot of it comes, let's be honest, from the religion, right? Yeah. It seems like there's been a kind of a marriage, the dividing line between politics and religion, Trump and religion, has just been blurred, man. Like, there's no difference anymore. Yeah. And I always wondered, because I used to clash a lot with my family about this issue, right? And I saw a video that said how to deal with your Trump supporter family members. Oh, it was from a left-leaning perspective, and they weren't too kind with the way they talked about Trump supporters and, MAGA family and, things, people like that. And I came to the conclusion after having a similar conversation with my wonderful Aunt Beatrice, who I love with all my heart, but we just disagree on a lot. And the fact of the matter is, you have to keep open lines of communication. You have to.
Yeah.
And politics can't be your connecting tissue on your relationships. I used to have this relationship with my dad where, since we were both on the same page previously, our bonding mechanism used to be politics.
Right.
And it's because before it used to be sports, it used to be boxing, it used to be, all other kind of things that we had in common. But since he started going to church, he just completely turned away from it,
Changed.
Yeah, he completely changed, and not only changed, but it sometimes at a point or another became adversarial to it. Like, almost saw it as like Christians shouldn't be doing that.
That's a virtue signaling from Christians,
It is, right? And so we really had nothing to bond over anymore other than our commonality, which was politics, right? And when that went out the window, it was just constant bickering and arguing, and our relationship started to suffer, right? Yeah. It eventually got to a point where I feel like I had to make a decision. Do I really need to be taking the bait and getting into arguments and talking about certain issues with my dad? I know where he stands. He's not going to change his perspective on politics.
It'll take somebody else to talk to him.
He's not going to. And even then, man, sometimes I feel the good Lord could come down and tell them, you need to change your ways, and they'll tell him,
Are you sure you're the good Lord?
I'm with Trump. I'm with Trump all the way, God.
Yeah.
Well, I had a conversation like this with my aunt, right? And it evolved into the same old things, right? Like, started off by talking about the trans issue. I find it amazing how these issues only come up when right-wing media is just like deluging their listeners with this stuff. CRT, that was last month's flavor, you know, or 2 months ago's flavor. Can you describe what that is? I don't know what the hell it is, but I know it's bad, and I know it's the damn Democrats who are doing it. Now it's trans, and it's Gay Pride Month, and you know, and that's what's keeping them up at night this month. Next month it'll be back to immigration. The following month it'll be back to Hunter Biden or whatever nonsense, right? Yeah. But in having this conversation with my aunt, she tells me, I leave here, and I hate this, but I leave here doubting myself. And I know that I shouldn't doubt myself because I know God is with me, or just somewhere along those lines. And I want you to think about that. Is basically she said to me, like, you presented to me a good case and good information, but I can't listen to that because I know I'm on the side of God. That is way too common when I talk to people of religion, and talking politics.
It's important to know that that's what's taught in the church, though, man. That attitude, that approach of like, hey, like, I can't listen to or watch certain things or what have you because evil spirits might, you know, get over me.
But when we're talking about the realm of religion, that'd be fine. Mm-hmm. We're talking about your faith, right? But when we're talking about whether Trump did this or Trump did that, well, we have answers. It's there. It's black and white. There's the evidence. That's what I mean when we're in trouble, when we let the religious factor leak into the politics, right? And when you start combining the two. Yeah. It's like I laid it out as simply as I could. If I can only have a conversation with you if you have a reverence for evidence the way I do, and a reverence for facts. If I show you evidence and facts, and your response to me is, well, yeah, that may be true, but my spirit tells me this, then there's just nothing for us to talk about. Yeah. I have to end the conversation because we're just not going to agree, because what you're basically telling me is your feelings matter over the facts.
We used to clash like that. Remember, we used to have conversations like that.
Yeah.
Where I was talking about the truth, and you're presenting like facts and, you know, stuff that's more tangible, and I'm over here like, well, that doesn't really matter, you know. Like,
right. And it's like I told you, like, I don't know what you want me to do with that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to argue things that we can both argue on a playing field where you can say, no, here's some counter evidence. If you're wrong about that, here's the counter evidence. And then I would have to look at that counter evidence and be like, well, that's a good point. Like, I hadn't seen that. Or, you know, I hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah. That evidence changes my mind because it's a new input into the discussion that I now have to reconsider. Yeah. But when you tell me I'm just right because my spirit and the Bible tell me that I'm right, it's like I don't know what to do with that. You know what I mean? Like, there's just nothing. We just are going to clash heads, and we're going to say, well, you know, have a good rest of your day because there's nothing that we can agree on.
I think Christians will be best served taking note of that and at least doing some homework on the stuff that they're like stumping for, you know,
right?
Stuff you're passionate about. At least know why you're in that position or that you have that position, but don't just go off a whim. Oh, well, they showed on the news, you know, gays are demonic and evil and this and that. They're targeting our children. Dude, just relax.
Yeah.
Use your brain.
Yeah. Use your brain. God gave you a brain. Use your brain. Yeah. In the midst of our conversation, right, we started talking about Trump, right? And she refers to Trump as, man, look at the way they're going after this poor man. My beautiful aunt. How can anybody in 2023 still talk about Trump in this way like he's a victim?
Sympathetic.
How, after everything we know at this late stage in the game, after everything, could you still be so on the hook for this guy?
The system's rigged.
As if you just completely ignore every piece of information that's counter to the guy. But while I was asking this question, she interrupts me and she tells me, well, what about Hillary Clinton? And what about Joe? And what about Hunter Biden? Verbatim what they say on Fox News, right?
I was going to say, wait a minute, that's what Fox is saying.
And I tell her, so then what's your argument then? You're basically saying they commit crimes. My guy should commit crimes too.
Or he should be able to get away with it too. So it's like, so where's this Christian standard?
of behavior. If your only standard is, well, if they get away with it, my guy should get away with it too, then you don't believe in anything.
I think Christianity right now is in a very desperate position where it's like by any means necessary. I remember a scripture that used to come out in church sometimes, and it said something along the lines of the violent take it by force. And it's like, I think that sometimes can be misconstrued as an excuse to become unethical and to become a little bit, maybe not so righteous, because at the end of the day, the end result is it'll be godly.
Right.
And so there you go. It kind of takes you to the era of the Crusades and stuff like that, where violence was a means to an end,
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Is that's what it inevitably leads to, right? Because if our disagreements are merely material, then it's basically who has the power, right? And a conversation that I had with Omar, who was on the previous podcast, who I'm going to post up later, we were talking about that. We're talking about if it all comes down to like relative truths, right? Like my truth is there's no like universal or subjective truth, right? Everything's relative. Like it's my truth and you have your truth. Then we're going to disagree on some very, very serious topics. And if there's nothing like to hold down the conversation,
right,
like facts or evidence, then it is inevitably going to lead to just us ignoring each other, or it's going to come to blows.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what we're seeing right now in the streets of our country.
And hearing calls for it too.
Is coming to blows. We shared this article where this pastor was lamenting the fact that Christians weren't like suicide bombers, like because they really Muslims have advanced so much because they're willing to die for their faith.
We got that coming up, don't we?
Yeah, they're willing to blow themselves up for the faith.
That's a scary message, man.
And just lamenting the fact that there aren't Christians that are that devoted to Christ. And it's like, man, where's the Christ in that again?
Yeah.
No, man, people are just so lost, man. And they call us lost, right? They call us lost because we don't subscribe to the bullshit.
Yeah.
And going back to this like argument, right, about Hunter Biden, that is going to lead us to our first story here, man.
All right.
Hunter Biden actually pleading guilty. And this is one, dude, where I actually sympathize with them, man. So let's read the article. This is from Politico. And it says, Garland distances himself from Hunter Biden plea deal. The Attorney General deferred questions to the Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney for Delaware, the case's lead prosecutor. Attorney General Merrick Garland is attempting to distance himself from Hunter Biden's legal woes. When asked about accusations of a double standard within the Justice Department, critics have said that political opponents being investigated are considered for jail time, while President Joe Biden's son wasn't. Garland on Wednesday deferred questions to the U.S. Attorney overseeing the Delaware probe. As I said from the moment of my appointment as Attorney General, I would leave this matter in the hands of the United States Attorney, who was appointed by the previous president and assigned to this matter by the previous administration, Garland said while speaking at a news conference in Sweden. Garland said that Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney for Delaware, David Weiss, the case's lead prosecutor, was given full authority to decide the matter as he decided was appropriate, and that's what he's done. If you have any further questions about that matter, you should direct them to the U.S. Attorney to explain his decision, Garland added. Hunter Biden reached a plea deal with federal prosecutors on Tuesday over his failure to pay about $1 million in federal taxes and his purchase of a handgun. He will likely avoid prison if he complies with the terms of the agreement. What sticks out at you, man, from this situation?
Well, I'll tell you, last night I was watching all the different news cycles, right? Flipping to the channel, seeing what everyone was talking about. A lot of attention to the whole submarine vessel. But Hannity was having a special town hall with Tim Scott, and his opening monologue was on this, and his position, and just riling up the crowd, as you can imagine, crowd clapping at every damn punchline. His position is that this is a false attempt at providing justice, as this is a false attempt from the Biden administration, allegedly, to show that there's a level playing field when it comes to the Department of Justice. While they're doing the Trump investigation, they're trying to show this front that, oh, look, we're also doing the Hunter Biden stuff too. No one's above the law. But then he criticizes this plea deal because the way he says it, There'll be no jail time served, not even as much as a felony charged and stuff like that. It basically, he's not satisfied. And of course, you're not going to satisfy the Fox News crowds. But, I mean, I don't agree with the way Hannity was framing it. But maybe there's something to be said about this sort of slap on the wrist.
They have a point.
Yeah.
They have a point.
Yeah. It seems rather light-handed, you know.
Wesley Snipes went to jail.
Yeah.
For tax evasion.
A lot of people have, you know. And then this thing with Hunter Biden, you know, it's just like I don't even know why it came out. I don't know why if they're trying to, like, you know, again show that they're being fair, but nah, man, it was a total misfire, man. Like, it does seem like a slap on the wrist, and there's no other way around that, dude. And I don't know if the investigation will continue or if any other evidence is going to come out later down the road, but it kind of seems like one of the things that they were hoping when doing this is like, hey, case closed, verdict rendered, you know, this has been dealt with. And it's like, damn, he got away with one, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man, they have a point. They have a point, man. Like, two different systems of justice for people, man, for the connected and for the unconnected, man, for the rich and for the poor.
Yeah.
There's no denying that, man.
Yeah.
If you look at the facts of the case, and if you're able to separate different cases, the Trump situation's over here, the Hunter Biden, they're all individual, different. They're not connected.
Right.
They're just different cases. And if you were to just look at the facts of the case, Hunter Biden should be going to jail, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no two ways about that, man. And
his record, he should also have a criminal record,
and he's gonna be able to purchase a firearm again.
Yeah. And
he's gonna be able to, you know, and any other person. You think you would have been able to avoid jail? Have you evaded taxes for 2 years to the tune of millions of dollars? Your ass would be in orange jumpsuit right now.
Pinstripes or orange jumpsuit. Lock him up.
No, but because he's Joe Biden's son, you know, he gets a slap on the wrist. Probably not even that, bro. Yeah. Maybe he gets a blowjob on the way to the courthouse by one of his buddies. And that's it. Yeah. According to the Attorney General, though, the case wasn't closed. And they're still doing more investigations. Well, and he's currently still under investigation under the GOP.
Well, two things here, dude. You can count on the GOP to continue to pursue the Hunter Biden thing, but sadly for us, the voters, you can also count on the GOP to waste your vote pursuing this dumbass, dude. This is something that can be done, I think, maybe without using the resources that voters put forward. There's other issues. I'm just saying, there's other issues that, you know.
Yeah, let's look at how the wards over at the Fox Lunatic Asylum are handling this situation.
Waters, and the news broke during America's Newsroom. I said, get Jesse Waters on the phone. This is a story for you.
Well, this was not a plea deal. This was a cover-up. There's no way this is going to take 5 years for a case like this. They didn't even open up the laptop. The laptop doesn't even have to exist in order to hit Hunter Biden with these charges. You open up the laptop, and you have money laundering, you have foreign lobbying crimes, you have bribes, you have racketeering. Hunter's lawyer was on MSNBC about an hour ago, and they asked him, did they ever ask you about the laptop? And the lawyer said no. The laptop was never even introduced into this prosecution, so this thing was siloed and mopped up. I want to address something. This whole...
What is their obsession with this laptop, man?
I mean, if they have any evidence or anything...
We would know by now. Because
bring it out.
Because the GOP... But the laptop is under GOP investigation right now. They have access to everything that was on the laptop.
Yeah, I know.
Don't you think if they had something
juicy,
egregious on that laptop, that it would have been out already?
Long time ago to protect Trump.
A long time ago, man. Yeah. Laptop from hell.
Trump prosecutor thing that people keep saying. Mm-hmm. It's not really as it seems. When the Republican president is inaugurated, he doesn't say, I want that guy to be my U.S. prosecutor out of Delaware. He doesn't even know this guy Weiss. How this happens is the two senators from the state of Delaware, two Democrats, select this guy Weiss. It's their idea of a Republican prosecutor. And that's how the guys nominated. Coons and Carper picked this guy Weiss, all right? Regular Americans look at this and they say, do you think I'd be able to not pay income taxes for 2 years? and then brandish an illegal firearm in front of a pile of crack cocaine and trafficked escorts? Hell no.
I want to pause there right there real quick, and I want to add something. Because even though I hate to say it, because I can't stand this douche, he's right. Average Americans would not be able to do what he just said. But if we're being honest, an average American getting caught with top secret documents, straight ticket to jail.
Yeah.
Straight ticket to jail.
And that's why it's not looking good for Trump. These are both cases where people are both guilty, man.
That's right.
And see, the thing that Trump supporters need to remember is just because this is going on doesn't vindicate Trump. Trump is also guilty, too.
Yeah. But see, the only reason why these lunatics care about the Hunter Biden case is not because they give a fuck about justice, dude. We've had this kind of shit's been going on, dude, and it's benefited both sides of the political aisle for decades, man, for centuries. The only reason why they care about it so much and they're talking about it so much as they are is because they're using it as a means to let Trump off the hook.
Yeah.
That's the only way. If there wasn't that tying factor to that, dude, these guys wouldn't care about Hunter Biden, dude. Tucker Carlson, man. Tucker Carlson was sharing college information with Hunter Biden, dude. I mean, they were buddies. Anyway.
Any good prosecutor would charge this guy with income tax evasion and ask the question, where'd the income come from? Well, the income came from all these foreign countries, and then they passed it through a maze of shell companies, and the prosecutor never followed the money. And there's no punishment in the plea agreement. Now, this has never been about Hunter. This has always been about Joe Biden. Hunter was never going to go to prison, whether it was a plea bargain or a pardon. There's still an active investigation going on with House Republicans, and they are uncovering new things this afternoon.
Judge, can't wait to get.
Anyway. Please find something on Hunter.
And, you know, they're going to be looking really hard, man, because it's incumbent upon them to do that because Trump needs help, dude, especially after, well, we're going to get to it, especially after the fiasco that he had on Fox News with Baer, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
And let's,
It's like that man's begging to go to jail, man.
Donald Trump?
Yeah, dude.
Well, I mean, that interview was something, man.
Yeah,
there's some parts of it here. Which part did you see?
Well, I saw a handful of clips. I saw the View's take on it. I saw the Fox News by itself.
Let's talk about, since we're talking about the corruption. Let's hear this one.
Yeah. Viewer discretion is advised.
Guys, if you guys have kids in the room, take them
leave
out
now.
of the room.
Right?
It's just Trump talking shit.
Is the president incriminating himself?
Was contentious from the get-go.
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot, okay? You lost the 2020 election. There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers, some in front of judges that you appointed. There have been reviews of every potential case of voter fraud in 6 battleground states, and they found fewer than 475 cases. You know why? Because they didn't look at the right things.
Okay, are you
There's more fallout from the interview as legal analysts say Trump may have handed federal prosecutors a gift.
It appears to me last night, as a former prosecutor, that he admitted obstruction of justice on the air last night. I can tell you this, his lawyers this morning are jumping out of whatever window they're near.
The former president tried to explain his side of the documents case.
I have every right to have those boxes.
They did ask for it.
No, and
they said,
I gave
"Can you
them
give the
some,
documents back?"
And we were talking.
And then they said they went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
Which
back.
they've never done before.
Right.
And in
But
all
why not
fairness,
just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things. Golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes. There were many things.
I'm on, right?
I would say much more, not that I know of, but not that I know of.
Fox News' Britt Hume.
His answers on the matters of the law seemed to me to verge on incoherent. It was not altogether clear what he was saying, but he seemed to believe that the documents were his, that he had declassified them, evidence to the contrary.
Trump also said his adult children would not be part of any future Trump administration.
His own family has abandoned him, bro. That's not his decision. That's their decision, dude. That should tell Trump supporters something, man.
So this interview was even more than incoherent and possibly incriminating. You could really see a difference here when he sat down with Baer.
Brett Baer, so is it?
Right, destroying his name on purpose.
Destroying Brett's good name. God, man. So Trump is a mess, dude. Like, I mean, they set his court date for August, which is pretty fast, dude. It's not going to happen in August. I don't think it's going to happen in August. There's going to be a lot of attempts to try to delay it. Trump loves the show, man. He's the circus leader, man. He's fucking P.T. Barnum, and he loves having the circus around him. And again, going back to the Hunter thing, man, if you just look at the facts of the case individually and you try not to tie them with each other, then you know they're both guilty, man.
Yeah.
And whether one's getting let off easy and the other one is, and the other one isn't, yeah, I mean, it appears so. Yep. It appears so.
Yeah, it's definitely a miscarriage of justice, but, I mean, Jesus. So we just let everybody off the hook?
The thing with Trump, man, is that he's lived an entire life of getting off the hook, man.
It's almost like this was his harvest. He had this coming to him from a mile away, dude.
And we just got to look at the situation as it is, man. Yep, Hunter's a criminal. Yep. There's no doubt about it. Will that tie into Joe Biden? Will his dealings in Ukraine and China tie into Joe Biden?
I'm sure it will.
I guarantee you that if there is any connection to Joe Biden, the Republicans are doing everything in their power to uncover it.
Well, and I mean, I hope it comes out because, I mean, if Joe Biden's done something wrong, we need to know.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't count on the Republican Party being effective in any matter because, I mean, look at what happened here with Hunter Biden. All the effort they put into trying to expose this guy, and this is what happened, slap on the wrist. The Republican Party needs massive revamping, dude. They got some people that are just, like, not good at their job, man. Straight out, dude.
Yeah.
They've been on a losing streak for a long ass time, dude.
All right, guys, welcome back. This next segment that we have for you, it will curdle your strudel. If there's kids in the room, take them out of the room because this is the thing. This is the stuff of nightmares. Trump supporters outside the Miami federal courthouse.
Fire away.
Explain to my audience why Trump is innocent.
Because he doesn't do anything wrong.
He declassified all of these documents.
He declassified them.
The president has the right to declassify, and he did declassify on his way out. He was the president, and when he left, he declassified everything. Every president has a right to declassify anything they want.
Yes, declassify them, and this is a witch hunt.
Yeah,
Another one.
And I also think that the Democrats planted these documents.
Yes.
I know that he declassified the documents, but I also think that the Democrats planted the documents.
It could be. There's rumors to that effect.
They planted the documents that he had declassified.
I wouldn't be surprised. the process.
So he declassified them, and then they planted those same documents.
It's ridiculous.
Donald Trump declassified the documents.
It's one thing after another.
I also think that they were planted.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would believe that.
I mean, so planting the documents, it's not far from what they do.
You wouldn't put it past them.
No. Well, no. As a matter of fact, I would almost bet on it.
I don't put planting out of the way of this DOJ. He's keeping it for himself, maybe writing a book, put it in his library.
He's writing a book. Yes, he was writing a book.
It's part of his life.
Yeah, it's part of his life. It's part of his history.
President Trump's documents were protected by the Secret Service, which their documents, again, were not protected by the Secret Service.
You bring up a good point. Pictures of these documents, they were being protected 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, and it looked like it too.
Most important message for all these woke people, liberals.
Oh, here we go.
Once you try to arrest your political opponent, you know that you're becoming third world country.
you have these
This is a
Democrats
dipshit, dude, the rapper.
up. You have them.
Oh,
You have these
the target?
Democrats. Yeah. What about
those emails?
What about her email?
I mean, let's look at the Biden crime plan. That's for sure.
What about Clinton? What about 33,000 emails that were
Bitch,
off of her server? What about
What about her email?
What about her emails? Lock her up.
Well, Trump had the chance to lock her up and he didn't do shit.
Smith is totally corrupt. I think they should both be in jail. This is called punishment by process.
But you don't see the irony here is that they're talking like about when you said the president of going after your political opponent, then this turns into a banana republic, a third world country. They're talking about doing the same shit to Hillary, bro.
Yeah, I know. But see, when they cross when they cross that threshold of it becoming a banana republic, and all bets are off, and they can start acting violent and acting out and start being aggressive, because that's what they really want to get to, man.
Hey, Ben.
They want to use those guns.
Ben Chappie had a little segment where he's like, "What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to. The only way we're gonna regain trust in our justice system is if Republicans prosecute Republicans and Democrats prosecute Democrats." Stupidest anybody's ever said, dude. This whole idea of like justice being blind, and like the entire idea which our like justice system is predicated on, we're gonna throw it out the window because Democrats can't prosecute Republicans under a Democrat administration and vice versa. Come on, dude. Let's finish this off.
Picture the bathroom is spotless, dude. Why would anybody keep them in a bathroom?
Look at the picture. The bathroom is spotless. Why would anybody keep them in a bathroom?
That is a very...
Someone was...
That's horrible, dude.
Yeah, with the money he has, he's probably paying someone to do it, of course. It's a resort.
So you're saying so the Democrats planted those documents?
No, they moved them probably to the location for the picture. It's just a picture. It's just where they are at the moment. It's a resort. That's like if you were to take the boxes and put them on the front of the house and take a picture. It doesn't mean that's where he kept them.
I wonder if this is a
Where they
Papa
have to
Q
take a
man from the
picture after they
QAnon
took 'em.
group, dude. That guy sounds so
You can bring your kids back in the room, guys.
Jeez.
There's too many of them out there that just sound like this. 2024 is gonna be rough.
And if you guys think Trump's winning 2024, it's not gonna happen, guys. He's not gonna win. So
What do you think about our top G over here, Mr. Andrew Tate?
that guy, man, that guy also's got what he's got coming to him, man. That son of a bitch, dude. Jesus, he's a piece of shit, dude.
You know what? Here's where I'm gonna take a moment. I hate to fillet myself, but I'm gonna have to say, I told y'all, motherfucker. I told y'all, motherfucker. I read an article about Andrew Tate, and when I see a con man, bro, I know a con man. Nobody spots con men better than me. I know con men like nobody else does. When I saw Andrew Tate's shtick the very first time, I'm thinking to myself, God, this is such an obvious con.
Griff.
Like, this guy's so goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy, man. Like the cars. Like, it has every like check off point that you would need to fulfill a con man. You got the fucking cars.
It's
You
almost
got the-
satire, man.
Yeah, dude, it's satirical, bro. Like, you could see, like, if you were to write an SNL sketch on somebody like this, it would be Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And then you have fucking legions of incels
The
that
Hustlers
are
University alone.
following this guy, man, and it's just. But mother, I told y'all so. I read an article about this guy's net worth, and his guy was all over media talking about, oh man, bro, I'm a billionaire, bro. Like at this point, bro, billionaire, well, it's chump change, man. $1 billion? Psh, come on, bro. This article, bro, it kind of went down because the Romanian authorities seized all of his assets, right?
Okay.
His house in Romania, the most expensive house in Romania, is about $4 million. The most expensive house. Andrew Tate's house worth $400,000. That's I mean, I'm not dunking on the guy, bro. Like a $400,000 house is a decent house here, man. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely true, but it's a far cry from 4 million or 4
But
million.
it's not the $1 million compound he was talking about, right? His Bugattis that he had, bro. Rentals.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, man.
I think he owned one.
Lease.
Yeah.
Lease to own. Right.
Dude, he claimed that he had like 300 million Think about that number, bro. 300 million in cryptocurrency. They seized his assets. Do you know how much he had?
How much you had?
300,000.
Golly, dude.
I told you, mother. So, man, and I'm trying to cuss less because my sister listens and she tells me, well, it sounds like you just use the F word like as a filler word, and nobody wants to be using the F word as a filler word. So I'm trying to cuss less. But you, mother. I told you so.
This guy.
I told you so. And you guys came after me on social media. And you said, man, bro, like, you know, like,
why you hating on Andrew Tate?
Why you hating on him, bro?
He's a
Like
real
he has the billions, bro, and you don't. It turns out that he doesn't have the billions either, man. He's just a better con man than I am, but I'm working on it.
Shit.
But yeah, man. Andrew Tate, man. He was on another show recently, dude, and they all sound the same. Like once these con men are caught, they all sound the exact same, man. It ceases to be about the facts of the case, and it's all about some, like we talked about last time, some kind of external force, man. Like the Matrix is coming after me. He was saying, yeah, man, you want to know why they're coming after me, bro? Because I'm helping out like legions of men become better. Really, bro? That's why they're coming after you? How many people out there help dudes out? How many motivational speakers are out there that like help people be better?
He's not doing anything unique, man.
He's not doing. Dude, Jordan Peterson can claim the exact same thing. He ain't going to jail.
Yeah.
He ain't going to jail, bro. Because why? Because he ain't raping bitches, and because he ain't fucking he ain't trafficking bitches, bro. Turns out that's kind of the key difference, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you play stupid games,
you win
stupid prizes, man. And they all do the exact same thing, man. They try to blame, like, yeah, the system, bro. The system is rigged. Trump, our King Khan.
The deep state.
Our King Khan over
It's
there.
a witch hunt.
Yeah, dude. Like, he's like, you know, they're not coming after me.
They're coming after your
They're coming after you.
Yeah.
I'm just standing in their way. What a beautiful fucking con man, dude.
Bro, what a t-shirt, man.
What a demagogue, man. The dude is the lord of con man, dude. I got to give it to that mother. He's some polls have him ahead of Biden right now, man.
Really?
You believe that shit?
Well, Biden's not a very good candidate, so that's not saying much, dude. I want to see these primaries play out, and then I think we'll see how the deck, stacks up after all said and done.
Well, let me ask you this: who would be a good replacement for Joe Biden on the Democrat side? There's talks of RFK.
RFK's out there, yeah. I mean, I've only seen RFK, honestly. I don't know who else is out there for the Democrats.
And I feel like RFK only does well because of his last name, to be honest. I mean, not only, but I feel like that's a big factor, dude. Like, he has the Kennedy
legacy, yeah.
And he has this bit of kind of a strange voice, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He has some kind of a situation going on.
What was it called? This... I forget.
I can imagine, dude, if he runs up against Trump, dude. You know Trump's gonna hammer him on that shit, dude. On the debate stage. You could barely talk to me up here. How is he gonna talk to Putin? you think Putin's gonna take that voice seriously?
Yeah.
You think Xi is gonna take him seriously? He sounds like he's nervous.
Yeah, right. He's weak.
He sounds weak with his deficiency.
All right.
With his handicap.
And freaking Trump supporters will be up in arms giving a standing ovation for mocking a disabled
right,
person.
Like, and then they'll be at church the next Sunday.
Yeah, hey, brother. Yeah.
Gotta love the sinner, not the sin, brother. I bet you do, man.
What's happened to these churches, man?
Anyway, guys, we'll be back. All right, ladies and Gentiles, welcome back. This next story again, man, like, we're going to react to a video that shows a pastor invading a drag queen story hour where I guess like parents voluntarily took their kids to this situation to just hang out with this drag queen and listen to. I wouldn't do that with my kids.
Right.
Actually, I would never do that with my kids because it's pretty.
It's weird, right? It's fair to say that.
Yeah, it is. Man, like, what are people trying to accomplish by doing that shit? We've talked about that before, bro. Like, I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it. I love my boys too much to be putting them in that situation. But also, man, like, I feel kind of weird taking my boys to like Hooters. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I feel kind of weird taking my boys to like Ojos Locos.
Yeah.
Right. It's just decency.
Yeah.
Right.
Just common sense.
It really has nothing to do with like drag queens. It just has to do with decency.
Yeah, that's the important thing to know, dude. It's not an attack on any group. Just like where's your common sense? These are
But
children.
and nothing against attacking groups because, I mean, we do it all the time.
Right, but the position is not because you're not or you're against or opposed to it, but just like maybe he's not ready for that. You know, maybe they're not ready to be exposed to that, or you know.
Yeah, if I could give these parents advice, I'd be like, you guys should probably not do this. It looks weird.
Yeah.
It's probably not good, but listen, man, you guess you're their parents.
Yeah, and this is America, and
This is America.
to each their own, man.
Anyway, here we go.
Have it all their own way. It seems that he actually cares about these children and the eternal state of everyone involved. And unfortunately for this drag queen event, they started doing a sort of Q&A, and he takes the opportunity to confront the drag queen directly. Watch this.
Merci beaucoup, Adriana. Thank you very much. So this is the end, like for us. We invite you to stay if you want and have some pictures taken with Adriana.
Or if you have any more questions.
Yeah, that you were really too shy to ask out loud.
Oh, you could ask him private. I have a question. Yes. What are you going to do when you stand before God and He judges you, everyone in here, for your sins? Sorry. What are you going to do when you stand before God and you're judged for your sins?
Everybody that was like, wreck and scratch, right? Like, here we go.
This is the supposed love of God right here.
If anyone causes one of my little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better that a large millstone be hung around their neck and they be drowned in the depths of the sea. So this is child abuse to God. And you're going to stand before a holy God. And He's going to tell you, what are you going to do when you stand before God and poison these kids' mind? What are you going to do then? The Bible says, God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him will not perish but have everlasting life.
So not only does he confront them, he goes straight.
Let's see. Before we comment on this creepy guy, I want to talk about the approach, right? I want to talk about the approach, because if you want to reach people and maybe change some minds, that seems like the last route to want to go.
Exactly.
Right? It seems like the route that's just going to lead to you getting kicked the out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll lead to a pretty good YouTube video.
Yep.
It'll lead to a lot of views, and just other Christians be like, "Bro, you're doing so great," and
what a righteous brother.
amen, brother. But
Virtue
as far as
signaling,
like the mission of like winning souls, what soul is won? What soul was won through that?
Not a single soul's won. As a matter of fact, he might have actually put a few more stumbling blocks in front of them. He probably created more distance between them and a future change than anything beneficial, man.
Because you rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, dude.
You know, and there's this like trend. It's been since YouTube started. There's been trend of like pastors who go out and are just straight up assholes with people.
Yeah.
And are just obnoxious and in their face and trying to and then they get kicked the out of wherever, and then they claim persecution.
Yeah. They're after the shock factor. They want the shock value, and then they get the consequence of doing that. And then, oh yeah, see, brother, the Word of God says I'm being persecuted. We're gonna be persecuted. Keep fighting the good fight.
And they're like, you don't know what persecution is, man. You know, you have no more of a right to be a public nuisance and to be harassing people than anybody else does.
And he wasn't invited, man. That's the thing. This is a private event. We already said it's questionable and probably not advisable, you know, in our opinion, you know, to have your kids around that. But it doesn't negate the fact that this is a private function. Parents are there with their children.
Voluntarily.
I mean, if you don't like it,
don't go.
Yeah.
Don't take your kids.
And don't go and disrupt and start, you know, being hateful. I mean,
if you're a Christian, bro, like right off the bat, man, like you're gonna have to assume some level of souls just not making it into heaven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you pretending like that this is like the main battlefield in this like bigger war?
Yeah.
Right? Like, dude, some people are just not gonna make it into heaven. You know what I mean? And that's not a green light for you to just invade people's privacy and invade people's space and just be and put it all over social media.
Not only that, bro, if Christians that are really, really adhere to the faith, you don't want to go into a situation like this and then down the road, let's say God comes back, we meet our maker, and it comes out on your tab that you're the reason why this person never sought a relationship with God down the line. Like, you don't want to be the reason why they never have that moment. You don't want to be the reason why they stayed away from God, because that just left that impression there. That whole experience it ruined a lot of people, dude.
And then to claim child abuse, like the first thing you're gonna do, this is child abuse. Well, what kind of reaction do you think you're gonna get from people, bro?
The funny thing is that the scripture he's talking about, if you go back or if you listened, it says something about that having a millstone hung around your neck. There's children here. What the heck are you talking about, hanging people with a millstone around their neck? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's okay when you get graphic because, it's for, it's the scripture, brother. But these people over here, they're doing something that you don't agree with, and you think it's, and I mean, I would agree that maybe it's, a little too much, sexually for a child.
Yeah, I think it is.
But it's kind of one of those things where, like, well, you're doing it, I'm going to do it. And here I come, and it's like, nah, man, like, I don't know. I just think Christians should have a much better approach, dude. And that's why...
It's all in the approach.
And that's why I've been very adamant about you need to learn how to love people, because right there, anybody with an honest opinion can say that that's not love right there, dude.
Yeah.
That's very confrontational and chaotic.
And it's happened to me sometimes, bro, where, like, I talk to certain people who are trying to, like, to preach to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many who don't know me, right? And they'll try to, like... And they'll come at me, like, with some kind of, like... thinking that they have some kind of authority over me.
Right.
Like, that you're the final arbiter of this, like, moral truth.
Yeah.
And everything that you see me doing, you're going to call into question because you have that authority.
Yeah.
Get the f*** out of here, dude.
Yeah, nobody has that authority.
No. You step down from your soapbox, because I'm not going to let you get away with it, because you're just another human being.
Yeah, you're just a sinner too. Like, it just...
No, man, you give me a break.
And it's always the types. It's always these type of people that have had their fill of sin. They've done the shittiest things. They've had their fun. Now they've converted to Christianity, and now they want to tell you that it's your turn to stop. It's like, dude, get the out of my face, dude. Get the out of here.
And then you got this kind of, like, situation, this kind of approach being cheered on by this creepy guy. Look, check this out, dude. Like, if this is a poster boy for, like, a cult, for, like, just like this, the look of somebody who's in a cult. Look at this.
For the jugular. In fact, the very first question this preacher asks is, what are you going to do when you stand before God and have to answer for the sins that you're committing right now? Wow, that is absolutely the right question to ask.
This is the kid that when never got invited to parties when he was a kid, but when he did, he, like, ate everybody's French fries, and then, like, he just like farted in the room, and then like everybody's asking, like, why the who invited this guy again?
Yeah.
Like, he has that vibe to him, bro, that, like, nobody liked him. You know what I mean?
Well, this guy also gives me the vibe that, I don't know him, but he gives me the vibe that he's never had a serious relationship with a girl, dude.
Oh, he's definitely never seen a vagina, dude. and like I said, but like we said, this is the kind of guy, bro. Like a year from now, like, people are gonna see him on the news having found some kind of shit on his on his laptop, dude.
The laptop.
Or like he's gonna do a live and, like, he's gonna forget to close his tabs, and you're gonna see like trans porn on there or some shit.
Like some Impractical Joker shit.
Like Harlem Heat.
Colossal combos, dude.
Like some crazy, like, stepsis porn.
Some Gorlock
or
what?
Some Gorlock nude. Look at this guy, bro. Like, we all know a kid like this, dude, that nobody liked in middle school, dude. That got, like,
Chinga.
Caught on the railroad tracks or something doing.
This guy, Chinga.
We got caught in a closet somewhere. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Steve.
Chinga.
Nah, dude.
I forget rumors back in the day.
I know. But anyway, man, that's enough of that situation, man. I hope you guys watching this are seeing the. And if you're Christian, man, like, we love you. We love you. We really do.
Yeah.
But if you're on a mission and you don't pay attention to your plans, and you don't pay attention to human relations and how to actually reach people the right way, you're just gonna fall into a trap of, well, I told them the truth. And if the truth ain't good enough for them, well, then they ain't good enough for heaven. And I did my job.
Yeah, and I was going to say real quick, the Bible does say that if you're preaching truth without love, it says something along the lines about being nothing more than a clanging cymbal. You're not having impact. And the whole thing with churches is to be impactful. So in order to have an impact, You need to love somebody. You need to be able to connect to somebody. Don't forget they're human beings like you are.
Yeah.
You know, and you need to meet them at that place. You can't come at them calling them evil, demonic. You're going to burn in hell if you don't turn right now. It's not going to work, man. And not only that, now you're responsible for their eternity if you subscribe to that. So
yeah, that definitely ain't the approach, man. The thing is, we all know people who subscribe to this approach, and it's lazy. It really is lazy, man. It really is lazy. Like you trade effort and you trade time and conversation, try to build connections.
Mm-hmm.
You trade all that in for the ego boost of, well, you did your job of being hard and telling them the truth,
right?
And whatever happened. You did your job. You clean your hands and you walk away.
That's a very weak and that's a very dishonest. And I'll tell you right now, that's a very ungodly approach because you're more concerned with getting your checklist, checked off. Oh, I ministered. Okay, I'm good, dude. What did you just do right now?
Yeah,
you just discouraged somebody, and now that's your fault. And don't ever forget that, dude.
All right, now we're moving on to our next segment here, and we got another to react to, man. I don't know who's lining up these segments, bro, but they're giving us a lot of comedic value here. So here we go, man.
That Hulk Hogan? I am a real.
Yes, is.
If you would have told me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that I would be in the middle of a political movement, I would have said,
who is this little boy?
Hunter's crack pipe. Right now.
Audio slave or what? What?
Damn, bro. He's saying that he can't afford groceries, and because of Biden inflation, and he's just saying 81 million votes my ass.
Oh, they're calling the election into question still.
Yeah, everything sucks, man. So he couldn't possibly have gone voted in legally.
So now he's going hungry because Joe Biden won.
Yeah,
sounds like a personal problem.
They've pissed off an already pissed off woman.
81 million votes my ass.
The crime was committed in broad daylight. We're living
Sounds like a vice president hopeful.
Dude, they're covering all the hot trigger points for conservatives, man. They already got inflation.
Yeah.
They're talking about Hunter Biden's laptop right now. Let me see here.
And the diaries got Pretty Joe in the shower. Votes my ass. Hey, 81 million votes my ass. Kamala tosses were salads. That even cringe the Democrats.
What did he say? Kamala's tossing salads?
What?
81 million votes my ass. Hey, 81 million votes my ass.
And at first I chuckled. I said, oh my gosh, Hillary Clinton is actually talking about me? That's funny. And then I got to thinking, maybe that's not funny. Oh my gosh, help, help. And I just want you all to know, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I don't think we need to say any more of that.
Yeah. Did that guy say that Kamala Harris is tossing salads? That's what I heard.
What?
Yeah. Like, Kamala's tossing salads. Something like that. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
I don't think so. Let me see.
Go back a little bit, man. Seriously, though. Right there.
That's
word salads. I thought you said Kamala's tossing salads. Eat your rat salad.
Kamala's tossing Biden salad.
Right, dude. Oh, only in the MAGA world, man.
Oh, man. See you guys at church on Sunday, brother.
Yeah. Don't let them evil liberals be in the White House tossing each other salad.
But you just go ahead and leave that indecency back home, huh?
Yeah. Leave that to Pastor. That's just right. Gotcha.
Oh, my God, man. No, that was pretty cringe, bro. That was pretty cringe.
At least the Target video, as cringy as that one was, it had a decent beat. This is just garbage.
But you kind of get the impression that, like, she's trying really hard to be somebody's vice president. Yeah, you know, and by somebody I mean Trump.
Yeah.
You know, she's had her head so far up his since she started running due to that.
Her and Marjorie Taylor Greene too, man.
And I'm surprised she has the nice tan that she does. Really haven't come up for air. You got to come up for air.
Yeah.
Don't forget to breathe.
Speaking of